The Super Mario Galaxy movie just got a brand new trailer, and I'll be honest, it looks really good, but it doesn't even seem like much of a Mario Galaxy movie because almost everything that we're going to talk about today pulls from so many other past games. There's references to Super Mario Bros. 2 like crazy, Mario Bros. 3, Mario World, even tons of Mario Odyssey, and yes, even tons of Yoshi's Island references. It might have been a short trailer, but there's still a lot to go over, so before we get started, please make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe. We're getting super close to our goal of 400,000 subscribers. You guys can make that happen literally super soon by just leaving a like and subscribing. Let's see how many people we can get to subscribe from today's video alone. Thank you so much for tuning in, and let's dive into the second trailer for the Super Mario Galaxy movie. First, we start off the trailer by having the bros once again on their dirt bikes doing tricks and riding, which seems to be in a fun way to reach Toast Arena, because they are being called in for a job, which we'll get into in a second. Also, the trick that Mario's doing on his bike is a direct reference to Mario Kart Wii. Here we can see one of the inverted pyramids has fallen to the ground and completely smashed into the sand. In fact, you can briefly make out a symbol of Knuckle-Tech on the front, which was the boss battle of Toast Arena that guarded the giant wedding ring in Super Mario Odyssey. And as you can see, the inverted pyramid almost smashed the entirety of the city of Toast Arena. Here we have a scene of the bros pulling up into the town, and you can still see the layout is very similar, if not identical, to Super Mario Odyssey's, even with the fountain in the middle of the town. It's just not frozen over with ice everywhere this time. Of course, the Toast Arenans make a return from Super Mario Odyssey, and they need the bros' help because they have a drain blockage. We get another shot of a street going down the center of Toast Arena, once again just looking just like the video games. You have the giant telephone poles as well. And of course, the bros enter the inverted pyramid, very similar to how we would in Super Mario Odyssey. But if you look closely in the background, standing with the Toast Arenans, we get to see a Moai. These guys were technically enemies in the Sand Kingdom, even though they really weren't enemies. They didn't attack you. In fact, they ran away from you, but you could capture them and use the sunglasses to unveil hidden areas and hidden platforms. The bros use a fire flower in order to transform into their fire alts that matches the game with Mario's iconic red and white and Luigi's green and white, which allows them to see in the dark tunnels of the pyramid. There, Luigi comes across a buzzy beetle with glowing red eyes as it plays the Mario Brothers underground theme. I don't know if we've ever seen Buzzy Beetles in the first movie. I can't quite remember. We might have, but they return here if so. They then have to continue down a very long bridge. Now, I do believe that Nintendo probably cut out something here. I feel like there could be a little encounter with Knuckle-Tech on this bridge. It just seems like a very long bridge for them to just walk across and nothing happen. In fact, we see a very similar bridge make an appearance right before the boss battle with Knuckle-Tech, so I would not be shocked if he doesn't drop down from the ceiling or appear in some way within the actual movie. It even looks like his symbols are scattered all over this giant ruined building at the very end of the bridge. They find out for some reason this is all because of a blocked pipe, which doesn't quite make sense to me. Why does a blocked pipe have to deal with a pyramid falling from the sky? But they clear the pipe of its rocks and debris and find a pair of glowing eyes, which turns out to be Yoshi that was hiding in there. Was he hiding from Knuckle-Tech? Am I losing my mind over Knuckle-Tech? Yes. We then get a weird scene of Mario and Peach for some reason in this giant castle area. Now, I'm not sure if this is something from Bowser Jr. Is this like a Bowser Jr. castle gauntlet that they're going through? If you look in the background into the sky, it does look like that glowing aura sky that we seen from the first trailer when Bowser Jr. invades. So maybe Bowser Jr. has some type of flotilla or castle that he's brought over. But remember, we've never really even been in a Bowser's castle section or area really within the first Mario movie. So we're seeing a lot of traps and objects that we normally would see in the castle stages of Mario Brothers 1, 2, or 3. We can see fire bars that looks like it's pulled straight from the castle levels of the first game. For some reason, we can also see a message block from Super Mario World. Why would that be here? It normally gives you information like a guide as to what to do, unless this is what Bowser Jr. uses to talk to Mario and Peach. I have no clue why this would be here. In the very back, we can see either a bonsai or King Bill launcher, and right below it, some type of glowing aura that's forming up the stairs. This next section, you'll see Mario and Peach having to dodge tons of saw blades going through the floor and coming from the ceiling. Now, this is straight from the castle levels of Mario World, and if you've ever played Mario Maker, you're very familiar with these. In the same game, we also have giant spike pillars that come down from the ceiling or rise from the ground, and you can also see that in this segment of the trailer in the Mario Galaxy movie, along with some spike traps that line the bottom corners of the walls. There also seems to be some enemies on some blocks towards the end of the hallway. They look like it could be like a Sumo Bro, Sledge Bro, or even Hammer Bros waiting for them. We then get a scene of a giant Cheep Cheep in a pond. I wish this was more of a Porcupuffer or a Cheep Chomp this time around, but it's still fine, I guess. But the Cheep Cheep actually eats Toad, and it's up to Luigi to go to save the day. He hits a question block and gets the frog suit from Mario Bros. 3. Now the entire scene seems to be taking place in that same jungle area that we seen the Yoshis running around in the first movie. We only saw it briefly, but it seems to be almost like a Yoshi's Island themed area with colorful bushes and shrubbery, and you can see from this scene with all the colorful trees, it seems to be within that same quadrant. It would also explain the Yoshi egg themed boat at the bottom right. Like, why would there be a Yoshi themed boat already? They just found Yoshi. We then get a scene of Luigi using the frog suit to frog stomp the Cheep Cheep in order to save Toad. Now, this is actually not even a move in the game. The frog suit's only purpose is to jump really high and also to swim really well underwater. Now, this was to save a blue Toad for some reason. I don't know why the blue Toad's over here in this, distinct region, but sure. We now swing over to Princess Peach back in that casino area that we seen in the first trailer, and she seems to be fighting literally the entirety of Mario Bros. 2. For instance, you can see her fighting Birdo in this scene, and behind Birdo, you can actually see the claw grip boss from Mario Bros. 2. It's just really hard to see in this scene. On the right side of the screen, you can see Mauser laying down with his stomach sticking up in the air and his tail going out between his legs. Now, we get to see him in another scene soon, so just hang on briefly. Now, in the background with the casino slotted question blocks, you can see the boomerang flower item appear on all the screens. And there seems to be a Koopa Troopa with a bow tie running one of the tables. This scene reminds me a lot of Super Mario Sunshine's Hotel Casino in Serena Beach, or maybe even the casino that Luigi works in those minigames. We'll go back to a similar scene to show some more enemies in a second that was in the background, but first I want to talk about Birdo again as she jumps in the air and shoots multiple egg bullets at Princess Peach, which is once again a direct callback to her boss battles within the Mario Bros. 2 game. Why is Birdo here, and why are there so many Mario Bros. 2 enemies here? It's hard to say. Maybe this is just a hangout somewhere in space in some facility for the Bowserling, but who cares, because I think Birdo looks extremely good here. I think she even looks better here than she does in the games. At the bottom right here, you can see a green coin coffer at one of the slots and a red coin coffer walking down in the middle here. And in the next scene, we get to see what seems to be a blue coin coffer as well. Now, we've normally only seen green ones, so I think this is definitely new. In the background, we can once again see the claw grip boss from Mario Bros. 2, this time flipped on its back. It looks like Peach is actually taking out everybody here, because we can also see Mauser just got destroyed. His glasses are falling off his face, and we know he's going to fall on his back soon. Going back, we finally get to see some Mario Galaxy enemies. We got Octo Guy sitting here in the background, and there's tons of Octoombas back there as well. I think this is also the first time we can see a Spike in the Mario movie, if you look very closely to the back left. Next, we get a scene of the Bros and Yoshi fighting Lakitus in mid-air on their clouds as they're throwing spinies at them. It's a pretty cool looking scene. I don't know if this is just above the Mushroom Kingdom. Is this like a Cloud World thing, or is this something else like the Cloud Kingdom from Mario Odyssey? They seem to be pulling from Mario Odyssey a lot, so who knows. But it's cool to see Yoshi jump off of one of the Lakitus, and the cloud stays behind as Yoshi jumps off the cloud, just like it would when you actually play the games. You take out a Lakitu and the cloud remains, and you can even ride in it. But once again, they seem to be protecting this blue Toad, which I have no clue why. Next up, this seems to be the start of the Star Festival, and we have Mario, Luigi, Yoshi coming up to Toad, and Mario's holding some type of long present in his arms. Now, at first, I thought this was a gun. No, I'm not joking, because later on at the very end, we see Yoshi with a light gun, but I'll talk about that later. But I've seen somebody online bring up the idea that this could be Princess Peach's parasol. We don't see her have this at all in the first movie, and we don't really see her have it until this scene where she's defending herself from Birdo's eggs. The present itself also has similar colors of dark and light pinks, so maybe Mario got Peach a nice little present that's going to help her a lot in the long run. Now, Toad is holding a red candied apple, which looks very similar to the red Yoshi fruit, which it might actually be, and Yoshi actually eats it, making the iconic tongue sound. Now, Yoshi only makes two sounds, which is his iconic tongue sound, which is identical to that of the games, and then he actually says his own name, Yoshi, but it doesn't sound like he does in the games. Now, I can't tell if this is a new voice actor for Yoshi, if this is the original actor that just said Yoshi in a different way, but it sounded slightly different to me. Also, I do not like when Yoshi makes certain faces, because this just, it creeps me out. Why does he look like that? One interesting thing is one of the tents in the background seems to have a big symbol of what looks like King Boo. It's a big circle with a crown on top of its head. Is this like a hall of mirrors type of thing at a carnival? So it's like kind of creepy, so they used King Boo. There's also a giant ice cream cone in front, so maybe some type of King Boo ice cream stand? I don't know. Also, one of the Toads has a star-shaped cotton candy. Also, is his arm missing? Now, this is the scene that's super bizarre, because we have Toad holding Mario and Luigi as babies, and Yoshi guarding them with a SNES Super Scope light gun. Now, this was a peripheral for the Super Nintendo back in the early 90s that was pretty much just a Super Scope gun that you could use for certain games, such as Yoshi's Safari. Now, in Yoshi's Safari, Mario's technically the one with the gun, not Yoshi, so, I mean, this is just a little different from that, but it's the same thing. But if anything, this definitely references Yoshi's Island more. I mean, I wish the babies were actually riding on Yoshi's back instead of Toad carrying them, because, yeah, this feels like a direct reference to that game. So why are Mario and Luigi babies? I have no clue. Your guess is as good as mine. I think Kamek probably had something to do with it. I'd be shocked if it was anything else, but yeah. Also, another Odyssey reference, because the giant T-Rex, which seems to be the one from Super Mario Odyssey, is here as well, and it's trying to get Yoshi, another dinosaur, which is strange. Yoshiception. But yeah, Yoshi tries to defend the crew, but they all end up running away in fear. Now, at the very end, we do get a poster for the movie, which finally shows us a galaxy something, because it shows us Gateway Galaxy, which is the very first planet that we will experience in Super Mario Galaxy, and this is where we meet Rosalina. Now, what's interesting is this doesn't just seem to be a meeting place for Mario and Rosalina this time around, and like a little place for Rosalina to stay. This is a huge whole planet with villages and towns. We can see buildings and trees and a whole courtyard and brick road leading up to a palace, which is the same pedestal where Mario met Rosalina, but this time it's like a whole castle for Rosalina. There's also giant, sharp, jagged rocks that we can see on this planet, and it's also here on the poster of the planet as well. There's also new spaceships that are flying onto the planet. Like, or is there some other race that lives here outside of Rosalina and the Lumas? On the bottom right of the planet, you can see a cluster of red rockets flying in, so I have no clue who this could be. Regardless, I love this poster, and this is what we wanted to see from the Mario Galaxy movie. It's a shame we haven't seen much of space yet, but I'm sure they're hiding a lot of stuff from us still. I just hope it isn't just a mosh pit of random ideas and random things, kind of like the first movie was, just kind of feeling clustered in some areas. But I don't care regardless. As a huge Mario fan, they could give me 2 hours of just straight Easter egg slop, and I would love it. But let me know down below if I missed anything in the trailer that maybe you caught that I missed, and please make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you learned something new about the trailer today from this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay safe out there. The snow is crazy, at least where I'm at. So yeah, stay indoors, stay warm, and just watch this video on repeat if you have to. Thank you guys, and have a blessed day. See you guys.